This show is dumb, and unlike something like a Hellsing, not really in a way that gives it a stylish, dumb action appeal. Izetta's got some cool combat scenes, but they are far too infrequent for them to carry us through all of the politicking and plot the series has, which Hellsing manages to do by having more frequent action scenes and being really moody and stylish, in or out of that action. Izetta does have something going for it though that has managed to make me retain a level of engagement with and investment in it that most other dumb shows tend to totally undermine. The pair of Fine and Izetta are just incredibly easy to root for, and what was a very strong first episode sets us up to be on Fine's side the whole way through. It opens on a flashback that quickly and elegantly conveys to us the wonderment and high regard with which Fine views Izetta, setting up their dynamic down the line. A tense action scene in the train Fine is traveling in proceeds to play out, where she proves her resourcefulness and with the help of some great costume design looks fantastic while doing it. She engages in some tactful diplomatic banter with the ambassador of Britannia, and then lets out something that I found immensely impressive. Her country is under severe duress, and will fall if it doesn't get assistance, something the politicians back in Britannia are very hesitant about authorizing. So she pulls out her trump card, saying surely Britannia would be willing to come aid the homeland of its princess. What she means by this is that she will accept the marriage proposal she had received from Britannia's Prince Henry, one which she had previously declined, in order to save her country. In a way it's an act of submission, but this to me was remarkably badass. She's leveraging the power of her position, the affections of this Prince Henry, and her willingness to make any sacrifice for her nation in order to make this happen. And she pulls it off with flawless grace, composure, and assuredness. At this point, I was completely invested in Fine, in this person who didn't herself have the power to save her people, but who could, through her sacrifice, bring those who might have that power to her side. From here on out, we get what I call a Nausicaa effect, where a leader is demonstrated to be worthy of their people's adoration, and as a result, every loss of theirs really does let us down, and every victory is elating. Over the course of the series, we get to see many of her subjects, and just how much they idolize her, and whenever that occurs, it feels really satisfying because Fine deserves that. She exists to serve her people, and recognizing that her people are entirely devoted to serving her is really thrilling. Her arrangement with Henry falls through when her country ends up getting invaded as she's making that deal, but that sets up Izetta to come into the picture. Izetta represents what Britannia represented, that power to save her people that Fine lacks. But instead of being something Fine must sacrifice her agency in order to obtain, Izetta is a dear friend of Fine's, someone who in addition to the larger scale military power she provides, also provides friendship and intimacy to Fine. Izetta is a microcosm of the people of Eldestat, someone for whom Fine selflessly sacrificed for, and who is now totally devoted to her. Throughout the series, they are able to draw mutual strength from each other, Izetta showing Fine the exact nature of people's devotion to her, and helping her come to terms with their willingness to sacrifice themselves for her, and Fine giving Izetta a sense of purpose and belonging. In that way, every victory or setback for either of our leads here is given the added weight of also being victories or setbacks for an entire nation, and a victory or setback for this pair that they form. I understand why everyone devotes themselves to Fine, because after episode 1 I was willing to do so myself. And so in spite of the weirdly dumb decision to not shoot at the exposed backs of the fleeing enemy officers when you've got them in your sights, or the remarkable coincidence of this soldier fetching water at the exact same time a private discussion about Izetta's secret is occurring, and then his photograph falling out of his pocket while he's at the river, and then leading him downstream right to that conversation while he chases it, and that chase not making enough noise to alert the two of them, and him then making some noise as he leaves that draws their attention without them stopping him, and then the one guy he breathlessly reveals he overheard something to being the spy that's infiltrated the army, that would normally make a series so unbelievable that I couldn't care about it. This human emotional core that Izetta possesses is so potent that it resonates with me regardless. I don't really mind that even though Izetta's shtick is supposed to be the introduction of magic into an otherwise largely historically faithful World War I setting, it then also puts just a single piece of anachronistic future technology, cloning, into its world, without at all explaining how that specific technology was developed to a degree beyond where it is today, and yet something like radar or cell phones do not exist, which would have affected the way events play out pretty dramatically. Okay, that one really did confound me. But after all of that, Izetta continues to have high enough highs to make up for those lows, and that is something to analyze and appreciate, even if it's still not going to make Izetta a great show in my eyes. Not every piece of media will be very good. In all likelihood, that will be relatively few of them, in fact. As such, the various ways in which flawed series can end up remaining enjoyable in spite of those flaws is something that I find quite interesting. Izetta is a series that has a really solid strong point, and did enough to capitalize on it. Would I watch it again? No. Did it give me enough to think about that I could make a video rambling about it for 5 minutes? Yes. Yes, it did. And really, that's all I can ask for. Well, actually, I can also ask for your support on Patreon. where Goose, Chelsea Chester, and all of my other wonderful patrons are helping to enable my creative drive and make this manic upload schedule possible.